So it's October 10th. I believe this is on trail day number 164. Stayed last night at the Kincora hiking hostel run by Bob Peoples. Did not see Mr. Peoples. But no one is here but me. There was another hiker here last night. So I'll give you the grand tour. The place was probably pretty cool at one time, but it's kind of run down now. But stayed here anyway. I got a picnic table with a couple of cats running around. So this got here's a bathroom with the shower. It's got really good water pressure. Shower head thing's broke up there, but this one's locked off. This one's just a bathroom. And then in here you have a clothes dryer. There's no washer. Looked like there may have been a washer over there in the corner at one time, but not now. And it's kind of dark in here. I'll turn on some of the lights. It's got a kitchen, stove, sink, dishes, refrigerator. Everything in it was in date. Over here you got some hiker stuff, food, clothes, towels and wash rags that smell a little mildewy. A donation box. And believe it or not, they had a health permit up until December 31st of 2020. And it's just the ceiling is covered with all these postcards of people who sent summit pictures. I mean, for years and years. And then you got all these certificates from Alda and everywhere for Bob. Got some vines growing through the wall. Pictures, summit pictures. Got a wood stove. I stayed in here last night in the private room. Got vines coming through the wall. There's like 10 blankets on this bed. There's no telling the last time any of it was washed, so I just stretched my sleeping bag out on the bed. More pictures of hikers, old pictures. Just everywhere, pictures, postcards, notes. There's a bunk room back here. Has a ceiling leak. That one's soaked. The floor carpet's all wet. And here's a microwave. I assume it works. I have not opened it. Got more pictures. Another ceiling leak. A lot of these pictures are getting wet and destroyed. And then there's also a bunk room upstairs. Light switch over here. It's got books, more pictures. This bed over here has got a ceiling leak. You can see where the whole wall's leaking. It's leaking through the ceiling. The other hiker that stayed here was going to stay in this bed in the corner, but then he discovered it was wet. So he moved to a bunk bed. And the amount of spiders in the window, so he went down and stayed on the couch. You can see the ceiling's leaking up here. Got more vines growing through the roof. More pitchers getting destroyed from water leaks. I mean, it's a donation hostel, so donation hostels are a little different. And Mr. Peoples is in his 80s, but he's still active with trail maintenance and stuff, but he's probably got a lot going on and just, I don't know. But either way, it's stayed here for the night, survived it. It smells real moldy, mildewy. I think more than one night would be unsafe, so. But anyway, it's the Kincora Hiker Hostel. We got, if I go to a shelter, either 7 miles or 15 miles. I'm going to push for the 15 miles. I felt good yesterday when I got here. But it's like 7,000 foot close to it of ascent. So I'm not going to over push. There'll be a campsite. There's campsites between the two shelters, so we'll just see where we end up at. Here I am back at the AT. There was a fella come in after I did last night. The other hiker was there already when I got there. But he didn't hang around very long. He was out the door. He said he was going down to the Bear Garden resort. We're in a cellular dead zone, so he's like he had to have service or Wi-Fi or something. So I think it was probably just he didn't like the looks of the place. Not too far up, got this little pond here. I think there's some cabin ruins around here somewhere. I might can see them through the bushes, can't tell. If so, we'll see them when we get there. There's a comment in Golf Hooks from December the 8th of last year. A hiker come by here, said the pond was froze over. So that's probably about right. It was cold around that time last year. Yeah, there's a cabin. That thing is old. I don't think it was a cabin, I think it was a barn. Probably had pigs or something in the bottom and kept straw and stuff up top. Or they may have raised them in the bottom and then moved them up onto a wood platform before they slaughtered them. Kind of looks like a mouse hang over there. A little string with a stick and a bottle. So AT hikers probably used it at one time. Or at least one of them anyway. I think it's going to be a good day. Not supposed to have any bad weather in the near future. It might be a little hot, but at this view spot with no view. It seems to be a common thing in Tennessee so far. I'm still climbing. I've done about 1,000 feet. Have about 1,300 more to go. And it's 4 miles to the shelter. I'll probably stop there for a break and then move on. I might get a view here. Yeah. Had a couple of not day hikers, section hikers pass just a little bit ago. There we go. Got a view. The hiker that stayed with me last night, I ran into him. He's up ahead just a little way, so looks like we got another little view spot here. Maybe. There's a little bit of a view. It sure is flat off that direction. I'm still climbing. Well, at the moment I'm not, but it's kind of a level spot before it goes back up again. It's warm today. So I made it to this trail junction for Coon Den Falls. It says it's 1 mile. That's too far. There's some comments from Go-Hooks that it was a nice waterfall. But a mile, that's 2 miles round trip, so I'm gonna skip that one. And now start back up the climb. It's kind of gradual, so it's not bad. So far, anyway. We'll get to the top sooner or later. Pretty nice view spot at the top. It's a decent view, kind of makes the climb worth it. Which that wasn't too bad of a climb, really. I've got like 3 miles to the next shelter. Probably gonna, stop there is the plan. And then it'd be 10 miles to the next one. And it's almost 1:30, so I may eat a good lunch and then just push on to the next shelter till after dark. We'll see. Or may stop at a nice camp spot before we get there. Who knows? Another little view spot. I got a bunch of charred trees and stuff, so I guess that's why we have a view. From that fire in 2017, I'm guessing. Once I got to the top, it's been pretty cruisy. A little overgrown, but pretty cruisy. So I stopped at this little campsite. The water source was not very far down the hill. So I filled up with water. Went ahead and had an early dinner. And cooked some seasoned yellow rice with chicken and bacon bits. A little salt, pepper, and garlic. That was pretty good stuff. So now I can just hike until it starts getting dark, close to dark, and then just pick a camp spot. I was thinking about hiking into the dark onto the shelter, but I think I'm going to keep the same time frame of hiking. My pace today was pretty much 2 miles an hour. So I'm just going to work on improving my pace instead of trying to push longer days with more to get more miles. I made that mistake, I feel, before, so try something different this time. So that's the trail going north, downhill. We've been climbing ever since I left the camp spot, but I think getting closer to the top. It's starting to get cool. I checked the altimeter on my watch. We're 4,100 feet, it says. Haven't calibrated it in a few days, but it's probably about right. It starts cooling off at 4,000 feet, it seems. The trail's going more straight up and less switchback, so I gotta be getting close to the top. Maybe there'll be a view when we get there. A small view. I'm climbing up the hill. Just passed the shelter a little bit ago. I don't remember the name of it right off. It's the one north of the mountaineering shelter. There was somebody there, so I didn't film it. It was just a cinder block shelter, nothing fancy. So I'm going to try to go about 4 more miles and then camp by the close to the hardcore Cascades. And I'll put it near about dark or shortly after. And give me water for in the morning. It was a pretty nice little camp spot. It's a really nice flat area. Then I can hear a stream. Can probably get to it a little further on the trail. Not quite time to stop. I've been downhill for about 15 minutes. Yeah, here's a little water source. I still got plenty, so keep it right on going. I've probably been 1.5 miles since I left the shelter, just guessing. I got about 2 miles maybe. Kind of looks like a camp spot right up in there. all cleared out. A pretty decent little camp spot. I checked, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. I was 0.8 from the hardcore Cascades. And in Gut Hooks, there's supposed to be a nice campsite between it and the footbridge. So that's where I'm planning to go. It'll be sunset in about 45 minutes, so I should have enough time to get there, get my tent set up, and all that good stuff for dark. That is the plan anyway. We'll see the Cascade before we do the camp spot, so make sure to check that out. It's supposed to be named after Bob Peoples' hardcore trail days trail crew. So it's a man-made cascade, I think. But either way, it'll be there when we get there. There's another campsite. Campsites seem to be a whole lot bigger this year than I remember them being last year. A lot of times they were just like 1, maybe 2 tents. I don't know if the enormous northbound bubble this year has expanded all of them, or if the ones down in Tennessee's always been like that. Here we are at the hardcore Cascades. I don't know how far up it goes. It's kind of overgrown up there, but and then there was a campsite that looked like just a little bit in the woods there, right by the water, so I might go back and check it or keep going. It's 6:30. There's probably another campsite, I'd imagine. I don't know, it depends on the what bet right off the trail there. That's the stream and the Cascade. I think this is a decent spot. I have no cell service here. There's a little more water north, so I don't need to get water here. And I'm still thinking about it. I don't know, I think I'm going to move on, maybe get to a little bit further, get some cell service. I'm thinking in this valley it'll be lunchtime before I know the sun's up, so it might not be good. So I'm going to push on just to see what else is available. So this little spot here looks really good. But there's a stream and a half a mile. It says it has a camp spot, so that would be ideal. I mean, I could always walk back to this one, but Who wants to do that? So, ended up doing close to 11 miles today. Not bad, considering all the climbing. So I got to another stream campsite, and there was someone there. Had a big old German Shepherd. Lost his mind when he saw me. So needless to say, I kept going. Now, there's supposed to be another stream in about 0.7 miles with a campsite. And I got service just a second ago. So I texted and told my wife where I was planning to go, and I would camp there, service or no service. It's already sunset. I got my headlamp on. Shouldn't have far to go. Hopefully there's no one with a big barking dog or a big pile of bear scat in the campsite. It's only 4 miles to the shelter. I'm getting a little tired, but I feel like I could probably do it. But I have no need to go to the shelter. It's not bad weather. There's plenty of water sources. My tent needs to dry. And no privy. We'll be Tennessee-North Carolina border, I think tomorrow or the next day maybe. Coming up shortly. And then I think we start seeing shelters in Tennessee and privies over the line in North Carolina. So I made it to this stream. There's a nice pool right there. It looks about 2 feet deep. A couple of cascades, I'll have to show those tomorrow, but there's this really big flat spot right here, so I haven't checked to see if I have cell service or not, but it doesn't matter. This will be home for tonight. I think it'll be a nice spot. There's no rain in the forecast, so shouldn't have to worry about getting flooded out. Alright, well that is it for today. I'm going to get everything set up and we'll start it again tomorrow.